You didn't get that NES Classic, did you? Now you gotta sit around and wait for the Super Nintendo Classic. If Nintendo makes enough of them, and if you can even find one. Or maybe you did get the NES Classic, and you're left wanting more. Room for more games, other consoles. Consoles that are notoriously difficult to hook up to modern displays without lag. HDMI out for Sega Genesis. That would be pretty great. Well, there's a road many have been down before, one that I've not embarked on, but I'm willing to give it a shot. It's called the Retropie. I'm going to order the parts and we're going to put it together. Now, I don't know anything about the Raspberry Pi or Retropie for that matter, but I do know it seems to be fairly popular in the community, especially since the NES Classic has been so difficult to find. Many people have been exploring for alternatives, and the Retropie seems to be a good way to go. Now, the pros of the Retropie, of course, are that you can customize it yourself. It supports a ridiculous number of systems all the way up into Dreamcast, which is about where the hardware seems to be pushing its limits. From a storage capacity standpoint, you're only limited to the micro SD card that you put inside it. So I'm going to start with the 32 gigabyte size, which is relatively small, but I'm only really looking for proof of concept and to emulate some of the more common system for starters. Okay, this box just came in from Amazon and should contain all of the parts we need to build the Retropie. Gently open this up. Alright, we've got a SanDisk 32 gigabyte card. Got the Retropie case. I picked up the red and white. It reminded me a little bit of a PC engine. We've got the Raspberry Pi 3, and then this should be our power supply. I don't know if this could really be any more simple. We're simply going to open up the Raspberry Pi and put it inside the red case. The top just pops off. Our little feet on the bottom. Now all we gotta do is prep the card. Alright, full disclosure, I'm completely green to this. I've never set up a Retropie before. I'm not even that well versed in Android devices, to be honest with you. But I don't think this is too complicated. I think we can figure this out. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stick the micro SD into the USB adapter and put that into my laptop. Navigate over to Retropie. Alright, so you remember the Raspberry Pi board that I pulled out was version 3, board B. That's this one right here. Alright, so next we're going to extract it. I'm going to use WinRAR for that. It also says we need a program called Win32 Disk Imager, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that while this is downloading. Go ahead and install Disk Imager. Looks like our download of Retropie 4.2 is complete. I'm going to extract the image we downloaded into its own directory. Now we should be good to go ahead and use Win32 Disk Imager. Pick my image. Use my USB drive where my micro SD card is loaded. I'm going to go ahead and say write. Okay, we got a successful write. So I went ahead and plugged in the micro SD into the back of the Retropie. All I need is to take the power cord, plug that in here, and we should be good to go. Let's go try it out. Okay, we got the Retropie all hooked up, and we're going to fire it up for the first time, and hopefully we are good to go. And that was pretty fast and easy. Alright, for the gamepad I have a little bit of a Frankenstein. It's an original Super Nintendo controller, and I have it hooked up to a USB adapter, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and hopefully we should be okay. There we go. For these buttons that aren't on the Super Nintendo controller, I'm just pressing A and holding it in, and it's bypassing and basically registering that that button doesn't exist on the controller. And that's it. And you'll notice that there are no consoles showing on the Retropie screen because we have no ROMs loaded yet. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And all that's left for our project is to get our games onto our Retropie. So for that, I'm just going to go a manual route and use an SD card with our USB adapter. I'm going to plug that into my PC. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the card is FAT32 formatted. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go back to my SD card, which is my E drive. And I'm just going to create a new folder called Retropie. Alright, I'm going to eject. Now I'm going to take the card we just formatted and place it directly into the Retropie. It's going to blink a few times. And when it stops blinking, we're done. Now you'll notice that it's back in the computer. I've got a BIOS folder, config, and a ROMs folder. I'm going to go into the ROMs folder and you'll see the names of all of the emulators that the device supports natively. So the first game I'm going to transfer over is Air Zonk. That's a PC Engine game. So I'll scroll down. Here's my PC Engine folder, and I'll just drag and drop from one folder to another. Go back, I got Gunstar Heroes. Now for us in the United States, that's Genesis. For everyone else, that was the Mega Drive. So I'm going to put Gunstar Heroes into the Mega Drive folder. Go back, I got Kid Nicky next. That's a Nintendo game, so I'm going to go to my NES folder. Drag and drop that. And last is Sunset Riders, Super Nintendo game. And so I'm going to drag and drop that. Obviously I could do a lot more games and other systems, but this is just a proof of concept. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to once again eject. Take that same card. Going to plug it right back onto the Retropie. It's going to blink a few times to transfer those ROMs that we just put on here. Okay, now it's done. I can remove this card, and my games should be on my Retropie. Okay, so I'm going to go down to quit. I don't need to shut down the system or restart the entire thing. I'm just going to restart Emulation Station. See, now we've got our consoles showing up. We've got the Mega Drive, Genesis for us here in the US, Nintendo, and PC Engine. Now there is a way to switch the PC Engine over to TurboGrafx 16, likewise for the Mega Drive to display as Genesis. And we'll cover that in another video. But just for today's sake, we'll open up the Super Nintendo folder. There's Sunset Riders. Okay, so all of our games look pretty good. I'm gonna just go ahead and go into the Mega Drive folder, press A to launch Gunstar Heroes. And there it is, Gunstar Heroes running on our Retropie. So it looks pretty good. Nice 1080p output, very clean, easy to transfer and put on a modern display, take with us anywhere we want to go. It's really pretty convenient. If you want to get out of this game, we're just going to press Start and Select together, and it'll take us back to the Mega Drive menu. B takes us back to the main menu. So that's really all I'm going to cover on this video. Basic setup and getting ROMs in there. We'll take a look at maybe doing some settings and tweaks later on, but this should get you up and running. And that's it for this video, everyone. I really appreciate you watching. I hope that this video gives those of you without a NES Classic the opportunity to build something great and still enjoy some of the classics in a convenient manner. As always, please like the video, subscribe for more retro video gaming fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, everyone.